Hey guys, what is going on today? Today we are talking about Battlefield 6, just about what we want. I am Dervarin, and I'm here with Zeb. Zeb, say hello.
What's up? What's up?
All right. So today we've got a lot of interesting things about Battlefield 6 that have already come out, and only expecting things to get a little juicier as we get later into the summer. So right now we're looking about a June release for the latest trailer for Battlefield 6. But until then, we got some leaked images to tide us over. What do you think about them?
They're looking pretty nice. Looks like it was only two images from what been able to see so far, but it's pretty promising. Looks like some kind of Pacific setting, maybe an island, kind of like the throwback to Battlefield 3 and 4. We got some V-22 Osprey aircraft, so that'll be a new addition to the series. And what looks like a SpaceX-esque, like Falcon 9 rocket on a launch pad from the HUD of a helicopter. So I like the way that it seemingly has the weapon systems laid out in the bottom right and all.
Yeah, the images are definitely interesting, especially considering what we've already heard. Just about what the battlefield that we've already heard is sort of going to the near future, going back to modern, getting away from the trend from the past 8 years or so of, we're going to World War One, World War Two, so we're bringing it back to modern. And recently, and this is the footage that you're looking at now, we played Battlefield 4, and actually I've been playing it quite a bit recently on old PC, and it's been fun to get back to that because Battlefield's just such a fun game in general. It's unlike anything else out there. To
Oh, for
me,
sure.
it keeps it stays interesting for longer as well. I know COD, the latest ones, just kind of they lose me after a little bit. Like it's fun to run around and do that high energy, really focused kind of combat. But there's nothing like hopping in a tank and an Abrams, whatever the case may be, and just really going to town on an objective or dropping in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a
Yeah.
fun ride getting back to Battlefield 4, and it's just made me that more excited to see what 6 is coming at us as
Yeah, and
well.
it's nice to see too. It's kind of a combination, so you can actually it's like you can feel everyone's really waiting for the new one to come out because as we've roughly hinted at, it's supposed to be going back to a modern setting. So everyone obviously loves Battlefield 3 and 4, classics of the series. So heading back in that direction, and with all the Battlefield games being added to Game Pass, just giving it such a big rush of players on the servers and everything, you can kind of feel the excitement and like people just want to play this beloved series again, and in waiting for the new one to come out. So it's really kind of cool to be a part of for now, but we are waiting for the new one for sure.
Yeah, especially considering that Battlefield 5 wasn't very well received. I know personally for me,
Yeah.
its initial reception was it was so just oppressive almost, the atmosphere, and it hasn't really been able to overcome that since.
Yeah.
Her Battlefield Pacific kind of took it in a good direction. I played a little bit of it, and I kind of like what they were doing with that, but it's just too little too late, and now we've already
Yeah.
had some confirmation they've sort of already abandoned Battlefield 5 before its time, maybe.
Yep.
Just because what we've seen so far is them sort of abandoning plans for like this and that they showed off in the community, and that was people were disappointed by that, and it really just shows that Battlefield 5 was just such a huge disappointment, not only for players but perhaps even the developers themselves, whether they thought they were doing right by the series and it was the reception they were disappointed by, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is they're ready to move on as well, and I think they
Yep.
probably learned a lot. But I won't give them too much credit in that front because they absolutely nailed Battlefield 1,
Oh,
and
100%.
just it was just such a phenomenal game, and I had so much fun playing it, and it's just amazing to me they didn't just
Hey,
replicate that formula, the
it's
marketing and
it's
approach.
it's astounding. They fumbled the ball in every possible way. It makes me really sad to think of what a World War II game made by them could have been, and to see them throw away the possibility of that, going for these just crazy things that, and then like you said, unfulfilled promises, just abandoning things. Or I guess they saw the writing on the wall and decided to stop supporting it. I think it was roughly like last summer when they really started to pull out, but it's yeah, it's bummer for sure because Battlefield One's a beloved game for me. I put so many hours into it, and the destruction, like the I don't know, just the utter chaos. It captured the chaos of war, and a lot of memorable moments from that one. It's really sad to think that there'll never be like a storming Utah beach in Battlefield 5, but we can now look to the future, both literally and figuratively, with the series.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're looking to get back towards, especially because modern battlefields are the heart of the series, and they have been for quite some time. Battlefield 2 was sort of a cult hit in its time, and then that
Yeah,
really became true with Battlefield Bad Company. Those were the games that
yeah,
really took it to the next
dude.
level, and where they really mastered that sort of the modern combat feel. Then continuing that on to Battlefield 3 with Operation Metro, and even the campaign was really good. I couldn't even really tell you anything about the campaign from 3, but that's not why people played it. Battlefield 4 had a very
Yeah.
fun campaign, but again, that's not why people played it.
And it's funny that you should mention that because there has been a rumor floating around that the new installment might come with a limited or not even having a campaign. And with a lot of people will probably be upset by that. Call of Duty kind of started that whole territory with their recent releases, but if you think back to Battlefield 1 and 5, I wouldn't really consider those even campaigns, more just like isolated stories from different parts of the respective wars. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go for something like that, give kind of a very limited approach, or if they'll do something large. And it might honestly just be because I know a lot of modern military settings will try and I don't know. We don't know who the enemy in this game is going to be. But if it was to be China, that could start some issues with
Yeah,
sales in certain countries. So they might just want to avoid that altogether. That might be what's going on there. But I guess we'll see.
yeah, definitely. What we were talking about before we started the recording is that the political climate in entertainment, especially, was a little bit different back in what was it, 2013 when Battlefield 4 released. China wasn't this all-powerful force that was changing the direction of studios
Mhm.
like the likes of Marvel. Um,
Yeah.
for example, lots of people were very upset when Tilda Swinton was made the Supreme Sorcerer in Doctor Strange, and the backstory was changed from them being a Tibetan monk to a Celtic wise woman. What Tilda Swinton was playing, and it's because
Yeah.
China didn't want to see any
No
type of
Tibet.
media could not have Tibet. So I'm real curious to see if there is going to be some sort of Chinese Asian enemy this time in the
Yeah.
Battlefield 6, which is presumably going to be a follow up to Battlefield 5. Um, I could potentially see them crafting the message in China as, yeah, so our video game, the enemies are technically China, but with the multiplayer, which is what majority of the audience, both in North America, Europe, and even in the Asian markets, they're going to be concerned with anyways. That is some
Yeah.
representation there. So it's not
Yeah.
necessarily America versus China. It's America who are fighting Chinese, and the Chinese get to play as themselves.
Yeah.
That's just really some
That's true.
speculation, deep speculation there. But who knows? As of the leaked screenshots here, looks like we got some Pacific Islands, so that could definitely be
Yeah.
some. Um,
That's another thing I was gonna say. Because part of me was thinking, well, it could just be kind of a faceless, typical like um, terrorist organization or something. But
right.
because Battlefield 3, like the premise of Battlefield 3 was it was both Russia and the U.S. fighting a a terrorist organization. But and I think there was also tensions between Russia and America in the game. But I don't know many terrorist organizations with private islands in the Pacific. It might be a thing in this world, so we're gonna find out. But it would definitely seem like that could be some a more of a Chinese enemy or some kind of Asian type enemy um with land in the Pacific Ocean. We don't know at all. Complete speculation. That's all this video is, as we
Right,
said. So we're
right.
just kind of having fun with it. But it is going to be really interesting to see which direction they go. That.
Yeah, definitely. They could, like I said, they could come up with some excuse if they did want to continue on with the Chinese conflict. It got actually pretty well resolved in Battlefield 4. I remember the ending. You had some options there But I believe in the true ending, you were able to blow up the Chinese general that was causing the tension
Mm.
and essentially get a pro-peace diplomat back into power by saving him in the final mission. So that was wrapped up pretty neatly. So who knows? It's not going to
Yep.
matter anyways if they don't have a campaign. And that's the thing as well. They could easily make
Yep.
the quote unquote enemy a Asian faction at that point because there's no campaign to say that they were bad in the first place. It's simply you load in and your multiplayer is you're playing some sort of maybe European coalition, European North American
Yeah.
coalition, American coalition, whatever the case may be, against a Asian coalition, perhaps even primarily China, whatever the case may be. If they don't have a campaign, that's really
Yeah.
going to solve that issue regardless, because then they get their avenue into China and also don't have to worry about sending the message that America is at war with China, whatever the case may be. Um,
Yep.
but who knows?
Yep.
That in that point it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Not
It's
at all.
it's just kind of fun to talk about because considering China's um,
Yeah, the implications
takeover.
of like actual real world politics are interesting to think about. That it might factor in because there was even a rumor that a trailer was should have already been shown, some gameplay or at least a release trailer, but the rocket in the video or the rocket in the leaked screenshot reportedly might kill someone or something like that. And at the time, there was a Chinese rocket that was set to fall back to Earth that they had kind of messed up with the launch and everything on. So there's
Right.
questions that they might not have wanted to release it due to that being involved, and who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, that's definitely that's if it is uh, some sort of story somebody concocted, it's a very good one. It's plausible for
If
sure.
it, yeah, yeah, for sure. And I did read that I believe it's kind of trustworthy. It seems like where that might have come from was the musical group or the band that actually did the score for the last game, and apparently are working on this one as well. So might be some truth to it. It would make sense to me, even just from a pure PR perspective, not even because it's China, but
Yeah,
um,
it's not like that big a deal, but it is like just in case. Like it's not going to
yeah,
hurt if we push this back, but it could hurt even just a tiny bit if we leave it here. So
yeah, for sure.
we might as
Well,
well just play
another
it safe.
another interesting thing as well is it's reported that it's been confirmed, I believe, that it's going to be on the past gen console. So it's kind of been billed as a next gen shooter, like the new going into a
Right.
new generation with everything, but it's also going to be supported on previous generations, and apparently it looks amazing on those too from what people have said. But it is interesting that they're still going to be going back with that.
Right, and that's definitely been controversial as well because the messaging up until this point has been this is a truly next gen Battlefield, and that's what everybody's got everybody
Yeah,
excited. Like they're about to really open up. They're really about to just let everything go all out. This is a return to Battlefield. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, that messaging has just disappeared. Now it's just coming to current gen and last gen. It's like, oh, okay, so
yeah,
is it really going to be the defining Battlefield experience if
yeah.
we have to worry
And
about?
part of me thinks it has to be related to the scarcity of and production issues with COVID and
For
everything with
sure.
the consoles, because I think they probably want to get this game out and don't want to have to delay it just because there's not enough people to play it on the new generation. And if you look, I mean, Battlefield 1 even and Battlefield 5 especially, like whether you agree with like the direction the game took and the core mechanics of it, they look beautiful on the past generation still. So I mean, it's probably still going to hold up. It is a bit weird to think that this whole new stage for the series is going to still be on past gen though.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it is just a huge market that I don't think they want to
Yeah.
ignore just yet. They're not ready to move on from it because, there's hundreds of millions of those consoles still around. I mean, I use
Hmm.
mine now that I have my Xbox Series X. I mean, I use it for a, Netflix machine, but there's still plenty of people who haven't got their
Yeah.
hands on an Xbox, Series S,
Yeah.
X, or a
We got
PS5.
lucky.
Yeah, we did. We stayed on all the websites and Target and everything, and we really went all out to try and get one. But there's still millions of people that haven't. So are they? It makes sense that they're not ready to sacrifice that money yet. I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate. I still think they'll be able to work their magic and we'll have a truly, great experience that we expect. But it
Yeah.
is. I'm always gonna wonder, like, hey, I wonder what would have happened if they would have said, okay, we're just gonna do Series X and PS5, and then go all out. We're gonna make the maps twice as big. We're gonna do this and that.
Yeah.
What could have been? But at the same time, how big can you really get? I mean, we already had some very impressive, large,
Yeah.
truly
For
in-depth
sure.
experiences with Xbox One, PS4, Battlefield. Anyways, of course, the graphics, could be better and will be better for the new consoles, but you don't want to get too big, anyways, and then you
Mhm.
become something else entirely
Yeah.
besides Battlefield. So maybe maybe it'll be fine, but it is curious to see that um, we're gonna have to share the experience. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, I'm interested to see too. We were talking the other day about, usually PC gets the larger. PC will have the larger lobbies, larger servers with larger player base at least. I'm curious to see if the new generation consoles are also going to be able to support that early. Um,
Right.
we'll see. I don't know. I think it's going to be either way. I'm excited just to be able to get back and enjoy the chaotic fun of these games because
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see on this gameplay, floating a a levitating tank through a channel,
You're
destroying people, blowing stuff up.
cosplaying Aladdin in a armored war machine through a tunnel. Yeah, and just trying to fly a helicopter through there. Like that's the kind of shit I've come to expect from Battlefield, and that's what I
Yeah,
want.
getting
Yeah.
C4, launching tanks up in the air and blowing them up with
Oh
C4 and
yeah, and then
destroying
having a
helicopters and
BTR fly across the sky and shoot down a jet as it's being blown
yeah,
through the sky. And yeah, I mean that's Battlefield. And I think as long as we get
100%.
that, all the gripes about it being on last gen as well would disappear.
Oh
But
yeah.
so moving on a little bit here, let's get to the title of the video. Let's get to what we really want to talk about. What do we want from Battlefield 6? Zebby, what do you want from Battlefield 6? Tell me.
Whew, that's kind of lofty, man. In general, I'm really looking forward. I think, and I'm optimistic. I think it's going to. I want the series to get back to its roots. So, Battlefield has always kind of held a special place for me. It's been it's been just realistic enough, but it's also had the arcadey elements and the chaotic fun like we just described. So we play a lot of like Escape from Tarkov and Squad, and
Right.
those games are awesome. But every now and then, you just kind of want to get in a game where you can just kind of
Arcadey.
mess around,
Yeah.
just shoot whatever. You don't have to worry about losing all your money in a kit or something. And it's not Call of Duty, but it's in my opinion, it's always been better than Call of Duty. But it's just like it's got the fun of Call of Duty, but it's still got that edge of realism. It's awesome. I love it. I'm
So,
excited to fly an Osprey. It's one of my favorite aircraft. I think that'll be super cool to see.
oh yeah, and
Um,
something else while we're on the topic of the
yeah,
Osprey, um, Osprey, I can only imagine are going to have a larger um, a large ability to transport troops, to
yeah,
transport players, and in the leaked image, there's two of them. So is that going to be some indication of like super conquest maps?
yeah.
Are we just gonna have so many damn players? We need two Ospreys. Like,
Wait, look, man. There's actually like five. You see the one?
oh yeah, I
There's
do
like,
actually.
yeah, they're crazy.
Wow.
And I could be wrong. I don't think I'm an idiot. So take this with a whole
Okay,
shaker
I'm
of
with you.
salt. I don't think Ospreys have too many offensive capabilities. And unless they're taking like an alternate approach on like how things are, I'm pretty sure the Marine Corps are the only branch in the world that use Ospreys currently. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure they are only used as transport vehicles at the moment. So that
Right.
is like you said. I'm curious to see if it's going to be kind of like an island hopping thing, um,
Yeah,
or if
for
it's going to
sure.
be like if it starts that way, that'd be really cool.
Or this image, we could all be wrong, and this could be from the
Yeah,
campaign, and we've been duped. Who knows at this
that's
point?
very true.
Looking at the leaked image as well with the Ospreys, there is no HUD element, so this looks like it was taken as a screenshot.
Mm,
This
maybe
is
a
definitely
cutscene
this is
possibly or
definitely
something.
part of the trailer. I would say for sure.
Yeah.
So this could be just a hovering shot. Um, of the Ospreys flying by. Who knows? It looks like there's an explosion in the background too. I just noticed that in the image, sort of emanating from the waves. So that's a really cool explosion too. Very large. Who knows what that is? But yeah, it's just this is going to be incredible. I think either way, I think they're going to blow us out the water with it. To be honest, they have to
Oh
at this
yeah,
point. I mean, we need Battlefield back in a big way, and I think that they're going to do it.
for sure.
And something else I would like to see is we're
Mhm.
going to that sort of futuristic setting. I think, as we've kind of previously mentioned, I mean, looking at everything
Mhm.
that's going on, looks like you said, the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. I want to see some really cool tech. I think that's sort of the
Yeah,
direction it needs to go in. Let's see some really cool ass gadgets.
yeah,
I don't really know what form that could take, but I want to see future military taken to its extreme. I want them to go buck wild with that kind of
yeah.
stuff. I really want
I
to
think
see
it
some
will too.
cool stuff. Um,
I hope to see some. It'd be cool to see some like modern, more delve more into like drone warfare.
right.
Maybe like drone IEDs or something. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And just knowing how these games are, I if unless they just completely mess it up, I don't see them not going in that way. I think I'm optimistic that they've learned their lesson from how bad Battlefield 5 was received, and that they really I think they realize that this is probably their, maybe not their last chance, but one of the last chances to get the favor back of the audience, and that they know everyone's really looking forward to this. So I'm really thinking that they're going to put everything they can in it to knock it out of the park.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing is most people, I mean, your main audience, there's going to be some people that are going to bitch and complain about anything, but your main
Yeah,
audience, I will say, they'll accept one mistake. And I would say Battlefield 5 was in a lot of ways a mistake, but they won't accept two back to back. So they
yeah,
really just need to nail this one. You know, if they don't, especially knowing EA and especially knowing the state of some of their studios like Dice, they're probably looking still pretty good. Definitely, they didn't bring in the finances EA was hoping for. BioWare is struggling right now, and EA will cut them loose. Whether it's their fault or not that they're underperforming, EA will get
yeah,
rid of them. They'll absorb, what titles they need to. For example, The Sims and them shuttering that studio. They'll keep your properties and fire all
yeah,
your people. So,
yeah.
this isn't they're not a very lenient God. Like they will
It'd
fight.
be very sad for this
Yeah.
beloved series to
Well,
go out with a whisper to say I really I don't think it's, this could be the hopeless optimist in me, but I think they're gonna at least get back in the right direction. If it's not just perfect or amazing, I think it's at least gonna nudge things strongly back in the right way. Because
right.
to be honest, after 5, it's not too hard to do that. But
They just need to slightly impress us. But I think they're
yeah,
going to do a lot more than that. I'm really expecting some great things out of this, and I can't wait to play it. Um,
yeah.
so it's going to be good. It's going to be
Fingers
good.
crossed until we get the real trailer and see if we were just talking out of our ass this whole time.
Yeah, right. You can just dislike this video if that happens. But anyways, on that note, I believe we have come to the end here. I want to thank you all for
Yeah,
listening in. We're no Battlefield experts, but we're glad you guys tuned in, and can't wait to see you out there.
yeah,
Just remember, we're on Twitter. If you would like this video, we'd really appreciate it. You can also join our Discord to stay up to date with all the fun times we're having and gonna have. And so, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it.
yeah.